Hi all, today we have Bayan Konirbayev, Chief Technology Officer at Singapore-based IT company, Global Trade Corridors. Thank you for joining, and the floor is yours, dear Bayan.
Okay. Thank you very much, Oscar, for this opportunity. This is I think this is a really good experience for me. So, my name is Bayan. I'm Chief Technology Officer of Global Trade Corridor. It's supposed to be the member of Port Singapore Authority, the biggest company in the world, working as a uh, operator for the seaports. The company has more than 66 seaports all over the world. More than 13 are located in China and 8 located in Europe. They have locations in India, Latin America, North America, and etc. So basically, the idea of the development of the whole construction through the network, from the logistics, from the trading, it's really important. Me myself has this experience working in uh, manufacturing company of General Electric, in research and development department, in Tencent, an artificial intelligence lab in China, and after I came back to Kazakhstan in 2017, I started to work in Kazatomprom. It's supposed to be the biggest uranium company in the world, and I was a chief digital officer of Almaty City. So, from the beginning, what I want to mention and what I emphasize during this meeting is that actually the world is very small for the talents. A lot of people is thinking that the development, the technology development, will be able to produce a lot of opportunities to everybody. But even though we have this, we still have an exponential growth of the talents and exponential growth of the business itself, and sometimes it's not equal to each other. So what I want to mention and what I motivate you is that you need to study hard, you need to work hard, you need to get as much practical solutions and applied sciences you are having now as it will be possible. What was changing, especially in Asia, is that the whole conception and perspective of the development of IT, it's not like it was 20 years ago. It's not what it was like 10 years ago. It's not even like it was 5 years ago. The basic point is that the changing of the IT is involving a lot of industries. It's not just like a system administration officer who was working and trying to understand something in the computer, but it's somebody who will be able to understand the processes itself, and based on this will be able to make that kind of optimization, development, the digitalization of the new industries. So this is like very specific. It's covering everything starting from healthcare, education, construction business, resources, and etc. So that is just the beginning, and it's like as far as we have very limited part of time, I will just follow Oscar's demand and just tell you something about like Chinese and nation specific, because it's really important because China is growing really fast, and basically when you're talking about China, you're talking about like, I don't know, something which was like I don't like probably 10 to 15 years ago was happening here. Chinese probably faced it probably more than 20 years ago. The same like in United States. It's like the velocity of the development is very fast. So we located here in Central Asia are not really like in the front of all the changes which is happening all over the world, unfortunately. And that is the point, because we see that more than 70% of all artificial intelligence research papers was written either in China or by Chinese citizens located in the United States, in Europe, and etc. So what does it mean? It means that the whole strategy of the development and the whole competition, which is coming here among the talents, especially in artificial intelligence, is basically more focused on Chinese perception. I mean Chinese, I mean Asian perception, I mean like everybody who is like in charge in this region for the development. Koreans are really good as well. Singaporeans are really good as well, but still, like probably the second after United States are Chinese. And if you look as a ethnicity, I will say that Chinese are the first because 50 or 60% of Chinese from United States are Chinese by ethnicity. So they call it ABC, American born Chinese. So what I want to say is that the competition is really fast. It's really big. And for the youngsters who are going to develop themselves and dedicated themselves to IT, first you need to focus on very good methodology part because a lot of things that I don't really like it because a lot of people saying, okay, you don't need any diploma, you don't need any technical background. As far as you are just like, I don't know, some like very specific talented guy, you can become anybody you want in IT. It's totally not right. Yeah, because you need to have that kind of fundamental knowledge. You need to understand the whole mathematical view and like artificial intelligence without regression analysis, without logistics analysis, it's not nothing. You need to understand mathematics as well. And it's not just calculus, it's not just statistics, it's just a very big and very good knowledge in logic. And that is the way you need to develop yourself in IT. So if you're studying something which is not related to technology, at least like at least some kind of tech specialist, I think you need to focus on it, especially if you decided to go and develop yourself in IT. I'm not talking about you user interface, user experience design engineer, because it's very specific. I'm talking about like backend, front end developers, QA specialists, architects, etc. So that is the first one. The second one is a certificate. You need to develop yourself as much as you will be able to do so. Because for a really good IT guy, it's spending like 1 or 1.5 hour every day for studying. This is like totally normal. You need to be accustomed with this, and this is not like, okay, I got some knowledge and I'm going to work there for quite a long time. Every day you have a changes in the languages. There is a lot of updates through the libraries, and there is a lot of updates through the perception of your clients who are like in the beginnings really good in C, really liked C++ language. But now a lot of fancy languages are coming out, like Golang. Python is very popular now for data scientists. So this is something like it's totally changing. And like when I was in school, nobody was talking about Python at all, even though Python was created in 70s. So that is the second one. The third one is the methodology through the research papers. So if you are going to become a really good backend or front-end developer, you need to understand how to write a thesis. You need to understand how to read research papers and what kind of ideas are coming from it. Because this is not just like you are going to find some computer journal and find some kind of a lot of initiatives and ideas which are coming from like for very popular and for basic students. It's not like this. If you are going to get something specific, you need to go to the Google Scholar and try to find something there. The fourth part, I wanted to dedicate especially for the Asian part, especially for Chinese one. And Singapore is like 70% of Singaporeans are Chinese, so it means that the culture is very specific. So IT culture, especially developers culture in Asia, is totally different from ours, because here we are more like. Sorry, can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. So here we are more on that kind of American methodology. So that kind of idea of the Scrum analysis, PMA, the Project Management Institute approaches, agile stuff, and etc. It's more like American style, and this is very specific because you see the how to say applications you are going to develop. They are more focused on Asians because we are, as Kazakh people, as people living in Kazakhstan, are more like socially organized. It's not like individual or organized. So it means that if you are going to develop something, you need to understand how to work in the team. And how to say, we call it health environment in the team. This is really important because in Chinese companies, even though you like, I don't know, MIT graduate with like a GPA 4.0, like with extremely good experience, if you will not be able to find your own language with a team, you will not be able to communicate with them. Nobody is going to talk to you. It means that the company definitely will fire you. That is the reason with social benefit solutions. The second point is like it's really interesting for Chinese part. It's like Chinese are, even though they are really deeply understanding the whole solution, they're really like to move inside the team. So for example, today you're a backend developer. After 3 years, in order to develop yourself, you're moving to the front-end developer. The same afterwards, you're going like backend, front-end, and you're moving to the QA specialist. And then afterwards, you're becoming a really good architect. So in Singaporean culture, especially and in Chinese, like in Beijing, in Shanghai, this is something really common. So if you are going to develop yourself, you need to understand that bottom is not just backend developer. If you want to be somebody like bigger, you need to focus on the architectural design, a special architectural design of the code. So in order to understand it, you need to understand the back, you need to understand the front, you need to understand all the processes which is related to the whole code development part. And these specialists actually are really rare. In Shanghai, you can find somebody like this for about like 40 to 50,000 RMB, like I don't know, like $8,000 to $9,000 per month without bonuses. Because during the bonuses, according to the year results, you can get like I don't know, like at least 1.5 for every month's salary. So
Amazing. Yeah. I'm just writing down. I'm looking down because I want to put this YouTube description after the video finish.
yeah, yeah. So that is very specific because probably another difference between Chinese and other people's code is that uh, Chinese are really focused and Koreans are really focused on the structure of the code. So it's not just the meaning of it, like just found something, got your chat GPT solution, I don't know, and just put it inside. This is not like this. You need to put everything in very structured and very well described way. This is another point which I face here. It's like people here is like, I don't know, especially for the market, because we have a really big boost thanks to the policy of the government of IT developers, and it's promoting here for the Central Asian. Of course, we have really good specialists, but believe me, uh, it's nothing comparing to the Chinese competence. Uh, because Chinese programmers are totally different. Yes, sometimes they cannot speak really good English. They can read English. They can read extremely all of them. Like especially for the seniors, they're spending at least, as I said, like 1.5 hours a day just reading research papers, but in English, but not really good in English communication. So a lot of people thinking, okay, I will go to like United States. I'm going to be a programmer, etc. It's like it's not like this because a lot of Chinese want to go to United States as well and spend say time there because the salaries in the United States are much higher than even in China. But what is really interesting is that uh, those people are spending a lot of time for studying, and they just getting a lot of practices for the code writing. So what I want to mean is that when you're when you're looking to the code, you will be able to understand the whole art of the code, especially if you will be able to understand it. For me, it was like this, especially for with Singaporeans. I checked the code which was before, and I was not really like uh, it was not like pure beautiful, like this very specific. So sometimes there is like in China there is small words, they call it like nothing resist. It's just like Indian code. It's just you're just putting and writing it just like 1 to 1, 1 to 3, 1 to 4, and the logic is not really good, but sometimes it's working. And it's not really good because for the structure, the systematical way of the solution of the system, this is something like obligations. Because IT solutions, IT startups here are really focused on that kind of MVP development, minimum viable product development, and nobody is really focused on the sustainable code. Sorry. Yeah.
All right. It's a cool term, sustainable code. Actually, while Bayan is offline, I prepared two questions about image. It's number two question. And first question will be about portrait.
Sorry. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
okay. It's all happens to me all the time. You had seen like not one world you see in Asia, like proper Asia, not Central Asia, not former Soviet Union. You worked in former Soviet Union, and you had experience in Europe. I know some opinions. I have actually two questions. So this is first question. Because we don't have much time, I think people won't watch long YouTube videos. So this is experiment to do like short. So I heard opinions. For example, London people who are doing product management, project management, managerial engineering management in London, for instance, they spend compared to Central Asian to Kazakhstan product managers. So Westerners spend much more time actually planning some small details even, and in this way they are better like managers, product managers, and some companies prefer to trust like British or American product managers. But when it comes to developers, it's kind of not so big difference. But I heard another opinion that in the West, developers they can do like Linux, they can do application development, some little bit networking, and some tendency in Kazakhstan at least, developers tend to specialize. This guy is iOS developer on the iOS. This guy is mostly like another guy is some going in other deep area. What is your view on this? In it can be limited to China versus Kazakhstan, or it can be like several countries comparison.
Okay. Okay. So I have experience working in Africa, in Ethiopia, in China, in Singapore, Europe as well. And currently, I'm practicing with the code development with artificial intelligence teams in South Korea. Uh, More than 10 months, I think. And what I want to say is that, uh, of course, everybody has their own advantages and disadvantages. If you're talking about Europeans, especially people from England, they're really focused on that kind of not even product management. I will say that it's like feasibility study, just doing a lot of work for the kind of business processes, trying to understanding, and sometimes it's just like really a lot of spendings for the time. In my opinion, it's not like something specific. It's just according my own subjective experience, not really good in the coding by themselves. Because if you're talking to them, just trying to understand some kind of logic, they're not really good at this. Okay, they can talk. Networking is really good. Communication is really good. They can spend some time with you, but it's not like uh, you need somebody from the backend developer. It's okay for the backend developer. Is this like completely introvert? No, will not be able to communicate with you and with everybody else. But as far as the code is really good, it's more than important. The second point, it like according to my experience, because like working as a CTOs, uh, it's impossible to know everything in everywhere. So when I see like some kind of universal professional who says that he will be able to work in Linux, understanding the whole mobile development, and he's really good and like in the development of the like I don't know like 4 to 5 languages he knows professionally. I think this is not true. It's totally impossible because if you even like Python, if you are going to study Python, if you're going to work with Python, it's you if you are really good in this all these libraries, understanding the whole small things inside, it means you need to be you need to spend some time for Python, and it's not just like 4 to 3 years. Because in Kazakhstan, it's like it's very common to say, okay, I'm professional senior developer. So what does it mean? It says, oh, okay, I'm like I have like 3 to 4 years experience in the development and like even one not really good project. A lot of MVPs, okay, I'm okay with this, but like it's not sustainable projects. So what I want to say is that you need to work really hard, and it's like in Asia, in South Korea, in China, If you will say that I'm senior developer with 3 to 4 years, even in Python, not even C, it's like people will say, okay, are you joking? Or you're like just totally talented guy, like, I don't know, like Indigo guy. This is like very specific. It's almost impossible because you see the sustainability of the code. Well, it's like in our country, it's not really common when you're asking, okay, like, oh, okay, you have a code, you have a system. Just tell me how many lines, strokes you have inside. And it's not really common for them to calculate it. But this is really important because this is something like a KPI. Okay, you can have like 50,000 strokes, but if if your code is really bad one, it's like not a meaning of it. You can write everything on like on every table. It's not meaning of it. So for example, you can go with a pipeline or just writing manually every solution by yourself. It's like not a meaning of it. It's like totally different stuff. So this is the meaning with the Chinese. It's like they have a strong solution and they have a strong culture of the writing, of the code writing. So for example, if you're coming inside to the company, it's really important to understand that, okay, the company has 20 backend developers. So all of these 20 backend developers need to write code as one. So you are studying the whole logic of the system. You are studying the whole logic of the team. You are spending a lot of time with the team, and then you're starting to thinking as a team together. It's not like individual code you can have now here in Kazakhstan. Like, okay, we have one person. He have been working here for 3 years, then he just decided to leave the company. And then afterwards, what are you having here? You're having just like a garbage code which nobody will be able to understand. This is very specific, and I think this is really related to the coding environment and the code development part, because the market, even in China, is small. In Kazakhstan, it's smaller, but people are not really thinking about that kind of how people will talk about me if I will leave everything in very bad condition and just like close the door and just go out. It's not like this. So I think what we have a lack here is this is like IT culture, corporate culture in IT. People need to understand that they are actually together, and no matter what kind of work are you doing today, tomorrow you still are going to be inside the same circle. So no need to do something bad for everybody. Yep.
Thank you. This is amazing. Actually, maybe I'll do after this minutes of this meeting some not only YouTube, maybe put some article because it's worth it. And final question, little bit personal image of you're coming from Kazakhstan and you work globally. Maybe you're not today. Your experience of early days. How is the like perception of Kazakhstani specialists, or I don't know, because from my experience, we tried to do some startup in US remotely and then also in Estonia, in Europe. It's a little bit lack of trust. There is no, in 2020, definitely there were zero image of Kazakhstani developer or Kazakhstani IT manager, product manager. It was quite, even still, I work in large corporation and many people think like, oh, you Turkish, like Turkey, or if Asians see me, oh, you're like, who are you, in Singapore? Like, hard to identify, like, who are you if you are like.
It's like I think we have a lot of advantage here because we are like nomadic people, really open, not not conservators. So I think like this is a really big advantage for us. And another point is like for the market, especially for IT market, not too many people really know about Kazakhstan, and nobody really like sometimes don't even understand the difference between Pakistan and Kazakhstan. It's not even the US. It's like even in China, especially when you're talking to IT guys because they are not really good in geography. So it's like for them sometimes okay, like they know somebody uh, only because of some kind of achievements. And in IT development, Kazakhstan is just started to develop that kind of new solutions and etc. We are developing really fast, but not really fast to be enough on the market. Actually, we're having the like ICPC, the sport programming, computer programming tournament here in Astana in 16th of September. So I think that is something which exactly is going to promote the whole solution of Kazakhstan. In my opinion, like the solution for for the people who are coming from Kazakhstan, this is something like an advantage when you're talking about like post-Soviet Union countries. It's really good because mathematicians, physicians, physical guys who are coming from post-Soviet Union, they actually created some kind of authority in United States. So sometimes when I was like communicating with other people, I say, "Well, I'm from Kazakhstan," naturally a lot of people was thinking, okay, I know about this country, but when you're talking about I'm technical guy from post-Soviet Union countries, it's totally different. So I think that something like a quite good background, especially when you're talking from the technical point of view, or on like on behalf who you are and who you are going to be. Oscar, yeah, because the time is limited, I didn't say nothing about technical part. It's just like something like a short talk, small talk stuff, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We agreed. Actually, we're overtime. We agreed for like 20 minutes, and
Yep.
we beyond. Thank you so much for your time. Let's do for technical parts another video, maybe different
Yep.
time, not 6 p.m. It's my not Thursday as well. Thank you so much. It's been a lot of value to community. Guys, if you're watching, you will watch recording mostly because I see only 2 people watching live. If you have comments, questions, you can type in the comment section. Oh, actually, we have one question from Timur Zhigmitov. Bayan, question to you. Can you recommend some of the most suitable certifications for improvement in IT management? Or the
IT
most
management, it's like it's different. There is different levels of IT. IT service management, ITSM, or development of like architectural design stuff and etc. Like TOGAF stuff. There's a lot of stuff. It's like for IT management, like a lot of stuff. So you see,
What do you think
a
of
lot of
IT?
people think. Sorry.
What do you think of IT service management? It's IT, right? IT version 4 or
Yeah. Bob, IT is quite good. It's quite good for like high level understanding, but it depends on the person by themselves. It's like Timur. I think you need to understand who are you going to be in like 5 to 10 years. Not like 1 or 2 years. It's impossible to become a really good specialist in IT in 1 or 2 years. For architectural design, TOGAF. TOGAF is the best one. But in order to understand TOGAF, to pass TOGAF, you need to have BPM certification, business process management certification. It's coming from BPM institution from United States, and it's like I don't know. I think it's like $300 something, and not really hard. But if you know logic, it's really good. And thanks to this certification, like TOGAF and BPM work, you will be able to find really good solution for the work. But it seems the same part for the architectural design because there is like several parts of architects, right? The first one is physical for the coding architect, logic for the process architectural design, uh, conceptual architectural design as well. This is something which is covering the whole solution together. And the first one is like cybersecurity. This is totally different area. It's like it's coming with a lot of knowledge itself. So in my opinion, TOGAF and BPM. And if you will have this too, you need to proceed more detailed organization with the whole design.
BPM, is it BPM CBOK? Because I
BPM
know
CBOK
you.
6.0, yeah.
Because I heard it from you, from nobody
Yeah.
else.
Yeah.
2 years
It's
ago.
really good. It's really good. It's like just structuring the whole mind together because you need to understand like when are you going to study, what are you going to be focused on, and etc. And there is a completely different part, which, in my opinion, has extremely like totally big demand in the development for the next 10 years, called data architectural design. Uh, in Kazakhstan, I met only 5 people who will be able to be like a senior data architect, will be able to design the whole data management system, data governance system. It's like it's really hard, and I think this is something you need to focus on if you want to get, I don't know, like if in US like 200,000 salary per year. I think this is more than enough for it.
Awesome.
In
Thank
China,
you so much.
for the China data governance architect is like totally demanded as well. If you can speak Chinese, if you can understand the whole data governance stuff, you
Is
will be
there
like
any certification, data governance certifications?
yeah, there is a lot of, there is like BPM CBOK, there is a DAMABok, data management book of knowledge. You can check it. It's really good. And afterwards, if you, because sometimes it's like when you're talking to IT, sometimes you're just reading and understand, okay, this is not mine, or yes, this is mine. So just read the book, understand. If it's good, proceed. If it's not really good for you, you cannot understand it, probably you need to try something else.
Got it. Thank you so much, dear Bayan.
Okay.
Let's keep in touch. I will do the description of this video to put it, because I think it's very valuable. And let's do a second stream, maybe on data management.
Yeah,
Maybe
data
so-
management will be really good. And like for me, I can talk like with the small talks with like I don't know, like communication and networking part, but I think more detailed and more value part is going to be with the technical solution. So when we'll start to describe that some kind of technical solutions, this is totally interesting. Or probably like mix something with this.
I just went to the DMBok page. It says 2018 published, and it's been revised. Awesome.
Data management book of knowledge. It's called DAMABok. Yeah.
Yeah, got it. Thank you so much. Let's do data management next time.
Okay.
Take care. Have a nice evening. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.